have a button.
We're gonna hope there's audio because
Okay,
otherwise
really hope.
it'll be fine. Close this Google tab on how to record on Zoom, which I did Google before starting this, and it was like just hit the record button. And then we started the meeting, and I was like, and there's not a record button.
But I have one
I'm gonna let Zoom know via my YouTube channel.
because the higher ups, the CEOs,
Yeah,
they're seeing this.
one of my 670 subscribers is definitely the CEO of Zoom. I do have a list of questions because I'm a professional interviewer. I feel like I've done something at the homeschooling where it's been like, interview so and so and ask them questions, but it's not coming to mind. So it must not have been a memorable experience.
I've been interviewed a lot because at school, the art classroom is right across from the photojournalism classroom. So they just kind of come in
Mhm.
and interview us because it's easier.
Which one of us is explaining the relationship between
I think you can. This is your interview.
for the audience at home? This is my god sister. I've known her since have I known you since you were born?
I wasn't there. Well, emotionally.
I was not conscious yet. Hold up. I think my headphones connected and I couldn't hear you anymore.
Oh no.
I've known Kendra pretty much her whole life. How did you get into art?
This is your fault. This is actually your fault. I want you to know because back in the day, good old
The good
Abby
old days, the
Ham.
Texas days.
You were probably about 12. Abby
Sounds about
Ham
right.
was Warrior Cat's kid. The big one that was like had pictures of all the cats. And I distinctly remember looking at all these cats and I was so thrilled. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read these books. And I read the Firestar's Journey Super Edition. I read the whole
Yeah.
series except for the first book. Of course, the Warrior Cat's into like animation, map, pipeline. I was like, yeah, this is what I've got to do now, guys.
I like how
So
it's my fault
this
and it's
is
because
your
of
fault.
Warrior Cats. It's not because I've done art or anything. No, my influence is not from my own ability. It's from me being a reader.
This
This is
forever impacted and altered the course of my entire life, my future career. I wanted to be a scientist, Abby.
I wanted to be an artist and here we are. I'm writing.
I want to go study bugs or space, and
Mhm.
I'll go author on the
I remember
side.
that. I remember
And I
that.
got hit with a truck that was Warrior Cats, and now I'm doing art.
Yeah. This is already such a great strong start. I don't know what I expected you to say, but it wasn't that. Oh, I can't wait for the rest of my life. Just different people being like, "Wow, Abby, your impact as like a Christian and in ministry, like you've changed so many lives. How did that start?" I'm gonna be like, "Warrior Cats and my god sister. She's now a painter."
Because that's what we figured out is like, oh yeah, that's like the God-given purpose is like painting and
Yeah,
stuff. But
yeah.
that it started with Warrior Cats.
That's me. That's me when people are like, "Hey, like how did your ASL journey start? Like you're gonna do this as ministry? Like where how did you get to here?" And I'm like, "So there's this book called Magnus Chase
That's really funny.
from the big
That's really
churches
funny.
to town." I was rereading the first book because I have a character who's deaf now. We'll get there. And I was rereading it and like he said something and I was like, yeah, that's the right sign. That is the sign for that. Going back, like when I was a kid and stuff, I remember learning how to fingerspell my name when I was in
Mm,
pre-K, the one time I went to an actual school.
I
Oh yeah, I'm
bet.
going to college now.
Oh yeah, that's so exciting, bro. I love college.
So the one time previously, not including now, that I was in like a real school with pre-K and I learned how to fingerspell my name. And when I was a kid, and I say a kid, up until I learned ASL fluently, I would like spell things like just like drawing out the letters on my pants. Like people would be like platypus, and I'd be like PLATYPUS. And so now that I have finger spelling, I do that all the time. And the fact that like the match that got me here was a Rick Riordan book, tracks. You read part of the book because I you visited and I oh my pumpkin just fell off.
Oh no.
You read the first couple chapters of Aarya Dalton didn't sign up for this. What were your thoughts? We're gonna get to the Google Docs comments later.
I want to preface this. I was rereading my comments when I was looking through some of these chapters, just like for
Uh-huh.
descriptions, vibes. Why was I so unhinged?
The ones on what I'm calling Project Fall are
Oh,
even worse. And I'm still every so often I'll write something for either Quinn or Cyrus, and I'm like, kill him in all caps in my head. It's so funny.
you'll be so
Um,
happy to know. I don't know if you can see it super well. I actually have now a model ship of my favorite boat. So guys, keep your eyes out for more boat content from Abby Ham as influenced by me. We need more boat authors.
So aside from Unhinged, what are your initial thoughts? Your copy is on the way, by the way. I did order it.
Girl is so sassy and I love it because she's like Percy Jackson, but even more like sassy young girl. Like she's such
Yeah.
girl.
It's one thing with like Percy and like his, let's be honest, trauma and sass,
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, like we like this dude. But from a girl,
because he's
it's a
like
whole different ballpark.
sassy. He's sassy and kind of stupid. Like she's sassy and a
Yeah.
little bit snarky, a little bit mean, but like in a
Yes.
funny way. Such a good vibe. She's so fun. I love it so much. Not like even like self-aware, but just a little bit unserious.
But what does the cover art process look
Your
like for
pumpkin has
you? As
fallen.
I'll hold it gently. What is the art process like for you when you make covers? Stay there.
Actually, this one is kind of a weird process because I'm sure, as you know, I did not start it until pretty close to the deadline because I was working on like my biggest project of the whole year that I was
Yes,
doing like
yes,
literally
yes.
24/7 up until like mid-January. And the deadline was the end of January.
End of January.
So, so how I made up for this is the absolute peak creativity that comes with travel. Because every artist knows,
Uh-huh.
put somebody in a plane on a road trip, I'm pumping
Mhm,
stuff out.
mhm.
Like things are getting done.
Absolutely.
I made the sketches and then I made like a pretty little color palette in my English class actually.
In my English class, that's how I got half of my first poetry book.
My English teacher literally has novels on his shelf, so I'm like, there's nothing I need to learn from you. But that's so unrelated.
Anyways, color palettes in English class.
Yeah, I mean, my color balance in English class, and I kind of like I looked back through the document that you had sent me. That was some
Yes.
of the book, just kind of get like vibes, like what's the thing. And I had you make a
Right,
Pinterest
right.
board. I'm a big Pinterest fan.
My favorite thing about the Pinterest board is I had to upload that picture of the machine from Phineas and Ferb myself because I couldn't find
You
it on
upload.
Pinterest. My only contribution to the Pinterest photo collection is a picture of Doofenshmirtz and his Anator. Because I was like, this is the reference. This is what I'm thinking.
I kind of worked on that. I had my little color palette, and then I just started kind of just painting things in. I made the background on like a totally separate thing, which is really interesting because
Mhm.
I've never done a cityscape before. So I was like, we're just gonna figure
Right,
it
right.
out. It's just blobs. Everything's just blobs. That's the real secret to my art process. I used a lot of lasso tool in this one to kind of have like comic book, but a little bit more rendered
Right,
vibes.
right.
I looked at a lot of, oh my gosh, what's her name? The Marvel people. They're gonna kill me.
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, yes. I looked at all of her comic book covers because I was like, guys, I do not read comics. I do not know what's happening. So we figured it out. It was just a lot of like rendering, going over, making little edits and things, just kind of blobbing colors around. I did have to move the entire painting over halfway through the project because I realized that my original file was in an RGB color profile. And for printing, it needs to be in CMYK. So I had to copy over each of my layers
I'm
individually.
glad you know what that means because me as the person who has to upload everything to the database, I'm just like, I'm so glad you fixed that because I would have been like, Kendra, what's wrong with the cover?
Because it just would have looked kind of sad and dead as a cover.
And it doesn't.
And it
And we
doesn't look
appreciate
sad and
that.
dead. Yay!
My
But
favorite thing about the book cover is so Kendra automatically did this yellow spot for me, which they
mhm.
let me be able to do, but I hate doing. And when I was uploading it, it's not technically center, but because of this fold line right here, from like the difference between where the spine stops and starts, it looks like it's perfectly center. And so
Okay,
I got my
okay,
copy
that's
and I looked
fine.
at it and I went, that works, that works.
I would have cried if
Yeah.
it didn't work.
This is the second cover
Yes.
you have done for me, and I need you to be completely honest. How annoying am I to work with?
You're not annoying at all, bro. You're actually so helpful. Like the Pinterest board is really nice. Like your sketches are really helpful. Like, and I really like the book as well. So I think because your characters have such strong voice, like they're so clearly like have such personality, so it makes it really
Right.
easy to put it into a cover.
So, as someone who's only read a few chapters and random snippets of the book, how would you explain this book to someone?
Ooh, ooh, okay. So see, we're also the last time I read this, like fully sat down and read it, wasn't even like skimming, was when I was in Georgia. So this is like
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
beginning of last summer. So it's been several months. Okay, let's see what I
Absolutely.
remember. Let's see what I remember. Snarky child is running late for
Yeah.
school.
Yep.
Everybody's magical powers. Not magical, superhero powers, because we're
Thank you. Thank
superheroes
you.
and cool. And it's their little family. And she's adopted. I remember that. She's adopted. And then she sees a local vandal trying to steal a
Uh-huh.
stop sign because I don't know, I guess it's
Uh-huh.
2021, devious lick trend is back. There was no toilet paper. There were no paper towel dispensers. There was no stall bathroom door.
Some F's in the chat for the public schoolers.
Yes, because she's 13. So in her 13-year-old self decides, I'm going to follow this vagrant child because she just has the audacity. That's what her real name should be. Aarya Audacity. That's what she has. She has the audacity. So she just
Honestly,
follows
book
him.
two. Book two. I will have her do that. She'll be like, honestly, Peter, my middle name is Audacity. And he's just gonna be like, no,
Audacity.
it's not.
No, it's not. Please stop.
My favorite thing, so when you get your copy, it it's gonna be a little different. I did some rewrites.
Okay, okay.
So like the whole opening prologue where it's just like exposition for 2 pages, that's not there. Like incorporated in the book now. There's also like a major plot thing that you touched on slightly earlier that I'm like, yeah, that's not there anymore. Also, it's no longer hearing aids, it is a full cochlear now. Let's go through some of these insane comments.
Mhm, mhm.
Chapter one, the title is I Got Stuck with a Salad, and your comment was how horrid.
I don't like
All
salads.
lowercase.
Salads are just sad. They're just leaves and they're sad.
I wrote that the name of the city was Ottoman, and you wrote down Ottoman Empire, more like it.
I just finished world history. Got a 4 on that AP exam. So,
You liked the climbing rope in PE.
oh, I did. I was a big climbing rope enjoyer. I just like climbing. I'm like a little squirrel. If like give me something to climb up and I'll be happy.
One of the reels I make from this is gonna have to be just out of context, and it's gonna be you saying just blobs, blobs. I'm like a squirrel. One of the characters, I think it's Cora, she says, "Hey, if you're lucky, your feet will go numb and you won't have to think about them anymore." And you said, "She's so me."
I'm a problem solver. Also, my feet did go numb yesterday. It's so cold in Texas right now.
I made a comment. Uh, no day with pizza can be bad unless you're lactose intolerant. And you wrote down in all caps with 1,000 exclamation marks and 4 number ones because you stopped hitting exclamation mark. Depression pizza. And now I regret telling you that story.
Now you have to tell it again. Do you
My
want to tell it or do you
I
want me to tell it horribly?
I'll tell it. I We went to a pizza place, a bunch of friends and me, and I'm looking at the menu and they have sandwiches and stuff. And I am lactose intolerant, so I can make these jokes. And I was like, I'll get a sandwich. That's fine. And one of the guys, his mom was paying. He had her credit card or debit card or whatever. And he's like, looks at me and he goes, "Hey, Abby, it's okay. We'll get a pizza with no cheese for you." And I looked him dead in the eye and I was like, "Connor, do I look depressed?" The literal next sentence is, "I'm not lactose intolerant." And you commented, "That would be totally embarrassing."
Yeah, guys, if you're lactose intolerant, you're lame. You gotta
If you're lactose
isolate your
intolerant, you
audience.
are welcome to the secret channel that I'm going to start for lactose intolerant people. I wrote something about meat lovers pizza, and you just wrote in all caps, "Die." Oh, I wrote the phrase, "That's how Brendan and I had our meet rude," and you said, "Love that."
Because that's so good. I was about to say that's so clever. I'm like, is that clever? Yeah, it's clever. It's clever. It's meat cute. It's
And
meat
then the
rude.
next to the top of the street light knelt a man fiddling with a light. They would put the school in lockdown.
They would. They would.
I feel like I don't know. I haven't thought this through. Apparently, if the ablete school system would be a little different because all the kids have superpowers. They're not worried about the kids getting as kidnapped when like one super strength punch to the face, that guy's going down. So that's my theory for now.
It could also be true if everybody has superpowers, then just some dude could have like I don't know exactly how this system works, but if he just has like a machine
Right.
gun for a hand, that's gonna end real bad for this
Right,
school.
right,
You
right.
know?
I've yet to write machine gun for a hand, but something to get to. What
Pirate
about
character, he has a peg leg and a machine gun hand. Put him on a boat. This is for your boat novel.
yeah, the coming boat novel I have coming
Yeah, yeah.
2026.
2026 guys.
Yeah. I explained what meet cute was, and then I wrote meeting Brendan was the opposite of that. Firstly, because we're not a couple, nor will we be. Ew. And you said, slay. You better not be lying to me right now.
I'm so tired of enemies to lovers. I just want them to kill each other. Like actually somebody needs to die.
So one of the kids I babysit right now, he has convinced me that he's like, no, someone should die in every book that you write. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that. Maybe
I
every book
love this
series.
child.
There's like a 4.5 year age difference between Aarya and Brendan, the
Yeah,
villain. Yeah, that's a no.
this isn't book talk, guys. We're not on that side.
She says to herself, time to change the weather. And you said, it's Azula time, baby.
She should zap someone with lightning, please. And then also have a mental
I
breakdown, cut off all her hair, and die. No, she shouldn't. I like Arya, actually. This
I
one
haven't
dies,
seen all of
right?
Avatar, so now I'm scared.
All right, so I know the video cut out. We did do a Zoom part 2, but it didn't save the video. I just need to let you know one of Arya's lines in reference to my villain is he dumb or is he psycho? And Kendra commented a link, and when you click the link, it plays. And I think that is the perfect place to end the video. You can follow Kendra at her Instagram. I will have it linked in the description. That is the username. Here's my Instagram username. I will have more interview videos coming soon. Some of them are going to be really fun. And if you want to learn more about my books, I have everything in the description down below. Also, here's a picture of me as a kid in a fake butterfly chrysalis.